Hey, Damien here for Automotive Superstore, and today I'm going to show you not just the coolest product Alpine's ever made, but maybe it's the coolest, most relevant, most important product ever created for car audio. It's called the OPTIM8. It's amazing. Let's check it out. Quite a big claim, right? The most significant car audio product ever released, but I really think it might be the case with the Alpine OPTIM8, or what they call the PXE-C80-88, but I think OPTIM8 rolls off the tongue a bit easier. This is it here. It's not very big, not actually hugely costly. It's actually well priced, certainly considering what it does. The thing is, its relevance. You think about where factory audio systems have come in the last 20 years. When I first started doing car audio, you had a cassette player in the car and a radio. If you were lucky, 2 speakers, and that was about it. Whereas today, most factory sound systems will have a component set in the front of reasonable quality. You'll have soft dome tweeters, a good large mid-bass driver in the door. You might have the same in the back. In many cars, you may even have a factory subwoofer, even if it's just a modest one, and you'll have some reasonable amplification and probably factory CarPlay or Android Auto. The thing is, while they've advanced in leaps and bounds compared to decades ago, the actual pure sound quality out of the current modern day sound systems, it's okay, but it's not that great. The big trouble is, it's not so easy to upgrade them. Certainly not without pulling your car apart and installing all these different components everywhere. And unless you've got some real good knowledge about how to do that and how to tune that, more importantly, you're really just disheartened or you're not encouraged to go and do that, or it's not so easy. And that's where the OPTIM8 really makes a difference. In one chassis, you get highly advanced 8-channel digital signal processing. So that is assignable crossovers, time correction and equalization for every single channel, and every channel can be used in any way you want to use it. It has both high level, digital and RCA inputs, 6-channel RCA inputs, as well as, and this is the important part, while it has got 8 channels of amplification built in, there are a full 8 channels of RCA pre-outs, and that means you can install this unit by itself today, improve your car audio immensely with all the tuning that's involved using amplification that's already built in. And if you want to grow and you want to increase the power output, you can just add amplifiers later on to your heart's content. There's not another product on the market that does it just like this one, and certainly not at this price point. On top of that, it gives you a few extra things as well. So this is the Rux controller. It's very familiar for Alpine people who've used their DSP products before. It's got a volume control knob here, and you can select your presets and you can do sub-level control from there. Another thing that factory audio systems lack typically is independent subwoofer level control as opposed to bass control up and down. This is a Bluetooth receiver, and it's an option you can plug into this. So let's just say you've got a really old classic car that's got a factory radio in there you don't want to change because it maintains the look of the car, but it's got no modern conveniences. It doesn't sound any good. You're going to install this in the car to run the entire system in the car that can be hidden away. Add this unit here, plug it in, and you can Bluetooth connect to your phone for your music streaming and control your volume through the Rux controller and leave the factory audio system looking as it was intended by the manufacturer back in the day. That's totally cool. But the other really genius part about the OPTIM8 is the Optim tuning system that Alpine have employed. All you need is an iPhone, and a generation 10 onwards will do you, because it has a microphone that Alpine knows the calibration of. And just by literally waving this around in the car, using an app built into the phone itself that actually connects to the amplifier wirelessly, you can tune the car so you don't have to know anything about tuning EQ and all that sort of stuff. It'll do it all for you in a matter of minutes. How genius is that? Now I want to take just 1 minute to talk about the official power ratings of this, and just to clarify what Alpine state. They claim this will do somewhere between 600 and 900 watts RMS, depending on what impedance you put on this. So it's 50 watts RMS by 6 into a 4 ohm load. The 2 sub channels are 150 watts RMS by 2 into a 4 ohm load, or 300 by 2 into a 2 ohm load. However, this amplifier's only got a 40 amp fuse and 10 gauge power and earth connection. So I think it's more like 40 watts RMS by 6 into a 4 ohm load and around 100 watts RMS by 2, no matter kind of what impedance is on the sub channel. So let's have a look at what comes in the box and what it's like to install one of these. So it's actually pretty small, so it's going to fit under a seat fairly easily. You also get a pair of brackets that screw to the bottom and allow you to mount this vertically like this or under a seat if you choose. Besides the Rux controller, you get an extension lead, of course, the little Bluetooth dongle. If you don't need Bluetooth, just leave this out. And then you get two little fly leads. One's an input, one's an output. And these are for when you want to integrate this into a factory sound system that doesn't have an aftermarket head unit with RCA pre-outs, for instance. And so you need to find where the amplifier is, and sometimes that's built into the factory head unit of a car where all of the speaker wires come out and run to all the speakers in the car. You'll intersect there. The output of that source unit amplifier, you'll run to the input cable and run that into the amplifier. And then from the outside, you'll run back to the same location and you'll connect to the speaker wires going to all the speakers in the car. So you will need, if you're going to buy this, probably some speaker wire from AirPro, something like that, that you'll find on our site. There's the USB cable that comes in there, and that's because when you first set this up, you need to do the configuration on it and tell it what kind of inputs to expect, as well as what the configuration of the speaker outputs are. Besides the fly lead, there are also the connections on here for the two larger channels to drive your subwoofer with if you have one in the system. 6 preamps. If you've got an aftermarket sound system, like say an Alpine one that's got front, rear and subwoofer pre-outs, there's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inputs there. You also have the option for a digital input via coaxial if your car can work with that. So once it's installed into the car and you've got all your wiring done, you'll need to connect via USB cable to a PC or laptop and do your input and output settings where you tell what's coming into the amplifier in as much as signal and what's going out in as far as what the configuration of speakers you've got connected. You have a primary and secondary source, so you can have, say, speaker level input as your primary source and Bluetooth as your secondary source. Once you've done that and you've set a configuration of speakers connected to the system, you then go in and for each channel you nominate whether it's a tweeter or a mid-range or a woofer, rear fill, front, left, right, that sort of thing, whether it's a subwoofer and that sort of thing. With that done, the system will actually put a preset curve in there for all of your crossovers, but that's really just a guide, and you really should have a good grasp of what crossover frequencies you'll need for each of your speakers, because the automated Optim tuning system does not do the crossovers, it does not do the time correction, it is only EQ. What's also important is the EQ system in the Optim automated system with the phone is what I'd call a global tune. It's actually between the phone and the amp. It's got nothing to do with the EQ that's actually built into the system that's tuned with the PC. And I actually prefer that system because you have individual 31 band graphic or parametric EQ for every single channel. That's really critical because you don't want to adjust a frequency when you're trying to tune one of the tweeters, for example, near a crossover point, and you start affecting the mid-range that's at the same crossover point. You have a separate EQ for the mid-range and for the tweeter, and they don't correlate, they don't muck around with each other. And that's why I think the PC version of the tuning for this system is superior even to the automated system. I appreciate the automated system is really handy for someone who doesn't have a $2,000 or $3,000 RTA system. Now, if you do want to tune with an RTA, you've got a couple of options. You don't have to buy one of these things. You can actually get an app these days. We've come a long way since I bought this one 30 years ago. You could buy a microphone from us like the audio control ones, a very high quality one, the SA4140i SPL. It will do your real-time analyzer and it will do SPL as well up to 140 decibels. If you're on a much tighter budget, you can pick up a microphone from a quality brand like Dayton or something like that and use that with just any sort of app you can download from an app store. That will still work and give you a rough guide as to what your frequency response is doing. So there you go, the Alpine OPTIM8. Didn't I tell you? It's a damn amazing device. And I'd like to see someone argue with me that there's a better, more relevant product on the market for more people than that product. And let me put it in context for you this way. I've already put this into a brand new car I've just bought that had a factory Bose sound system from back in like around 2010. And it was going to cost me $1,500, $2,000 to buy upgraded speakers for that car, and that's what I was pondering. This is about half that price. I put this in and spent a few days tuning, and I got to tell you, the speakers sound incredible. So good, I probably won't even change them now. And in that context, that makes this an absolute bargain. But you might say, well, I don't have 8 channels. What if I've got 6 or I've got more? Well, if you've got 6 channels, there's 2 solutions from Alpine. This one here, the PXE-M60-4. It doesn't have the automated phone wave it around in the sky version of tuning. It's all on the PC, but this has 4 channels of 25 watts RMS built in and then 2 pre-out channels to control a subwoofer. And for a lot of cars, adding a subwoofer and just tuning the front stage, this might be all you need, and it's only $299 RRP. Like, this is the bargain product, actually, I think. They also have an OPTIM tuning, wireless tuning version of this that's 6 channel called the OPTIM8, and then they have a 12 and this the flagship 14 channel amplifiers. So there's something for everybody. Anyway, I hope you've liked this video. If you want to grab one of these great products and upgrade your car, there'll be a link down below. While you're here, like and subscribe as always, and I will see you next time.